So, hello Aquarius, how you doing? So this is a Mercury retrograde reading. This is my first time ever doing one, and I wanted to do one for each and every zodiac sign. So, what I have here in my spread is Mercury bars and a sun, because Mercury retrograde is in Libra. So I also brought down where Libra energy is at. I also took in consideration that Mercury, I did look at its transit, that it is trine with Jupiter and it's square with Pluto. Okay, when I say I'm taking all this in consideration, these are the signifiers for the Sun and Mars. So they're going to be coming out as some type of relatable message, per se. The Jupiter and the Pluto part of it is just for you to consider in your consideration, depending on your perspective of how you coming up in here to look for messages. Your consideration of the way that you come to look for a message. That's going into basically of how it's going to resonate. If you know, your perception really plays a role on how the message is going to resonate. How your interpretation work really plays a role in it. So this is just, me wanting to do something, and I wanted to come up here and do one on Mercury retrograde, because I never did one, so I wanted to have fun with it, being in Mercury retrograde. And yeah, so that's basically how I felt about it. Felt about it and stuff. So I'm about to go ahead and I might have forgot something with my speech. If it's meant for it to come up, it'll come up as we go. But I want to say thank you anyway for stopping past. So here we go. I'm going to begin with Mercury retrograde. So the two cards that came out, and yeah, all the cards is out because I wanted to really feel the energy for these messages. So the two cards that came out is the Wheel of Fortune and the Six of Swords. I feel this is very transitional with Mercury retrograde. Meaning it's really hard to pinpoint the wheel, the transition of where it's going when it comes to Mercury retrograde. And I'm saying that because the Wheel of Fortune came out first, right? And the Six of Swords came out behind it. So the Six of Swords is facing, kind of going forward, progression. But the thing of it being what occurs in retrograde, right, in the Wheel of Fortune is the redefining of history. So, Mercury retrograde in its own energy, I think I really have to split it up with Mars when it comes to this Libra part. Meaning for the Libra energy here, that's for Mercury retrograde, it's a balance act for you. And maybe it's a great thing that I do have Mars and the Sun that's out here for it to help me with this message. Because I really do feel it's a either or kind of thing. Or maybe it's a both. I haven't gotten there translating. But what I definitely feel is Aquarius, on some baselines, you you're probably going through some type of reminiscing. If you have PTSD, I don't know if it's going to get worse or bad. It just depends on the stage of how you've been coping with it over time. But PTSD can be definitely a factor for it. I do feel relationship energy here, but I'm going to get into that when I go to Mars. So let me go ahead and move on to Mars. But that's got to be all that I could explain when it comes to it, Aquarius. So we had the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups going with the Wheel of Fortune and stuff. So I guess the completion of who fulfillment will work with Mercury retrograde when it comes to Libra. So Aquarius, on the balance in that, I'm going to go ahead over here to the Mars signifier. So what came out is the Love of Cards and the Four of Wands in reverse. Now, on the straight meditation, this is what I mean by relationships right here, where I think it really is very important that with the wheel turning into this favor, your psychological perspective on relationships and the status quo of relationships is really going to be very intense. The intensity of these side effects, right, determines this fate of this Four of Wands that's here, and I feel that's why the Four of Wands is in reverse and the Lover's card is upright, because it's a determining factor. Being that Mercury retrograde has the Wheel of Fortune with the Six of Swords here, the wheel haven't stopped spinning. I don't know when the wheel gonna stop spinning. I don't know if it's gonna stop with the retrograde. I don't know like how this going to be personally affected, or whether you already feel like you stuck in a time loop anyway. You know, you probably be like, oh, this ain't the best advice, knowing that this time loop is still going on. So I don't know the way that you really honestly experience it. But what I'm trying to say is the Four of Wands with the Lover's card with Mars is also like a challenge of, it's a challenge of the fact of, how can I say it? How much pleasure do you get out of, for example, alright, I don't know if you're in this situation, but we're going to use this situation as an example that could co-fit. So, what is it in the repetition that could come with a relationship? Like, how does y'all going out looking for a job, somebody going to work, maybe somebody staying home with the kids, how do those repetitious things, right? How do those repetitious, those routine things bring so much satisfaction? And not only that, how does those same routine things bring so much destruction even when the routine is on course but the energy change? This is where the Four of Wands is in reverse is playing the game with Mars at on this Lover. So it's almost like maybe it can be situations that you already passed spiritual tests for. Maybe it can be somebody repeating some old behavior. Can be here. Maybe it could be the energy that's repeating itself. And it's just repeating itself, but it's not having no end game. It's actually, you might be feeling the fact of the procurement that's coming from the Mercury, you know, with the Wheel of Fortune and the Six of Swords. So, okay, this relationship now is progressing past this part. Are we sure we really didn't progress past this part? Okay, let's see. Let's set the stage up real quick and see whether this reaction is really needed. You know, whether what we about to bring into them is really right now in the right course of time. So this is what I mean by transitional. I think you really I don't know how close to detail is the right thing. That's kind of tricky because it really depends on your perspective and attitude. My thing is really live into the future with this Mars and Libra energy. I think living into the future of what you really wanted to have accomplished and desire is very much needed. And I think it really is going to be supported with this Wheel of Fortune, this Six of Swords with this Ten of Cups. I think, you know, if you're going to face this energy, and this could go with your chart, you know, you could figure everything out. It might work better, especially if you got opposition there. You know, yeah, kind of, yes, because that needed to be there. So the shadow dynamic here, oh, sorry, I had picked the deck up upside down, did I? Yeah, I did. Okay, it's the, oh, there we go, we got the Tower. So I hope the Tower energy kind of explain what I'm talking about on, because you feeling this transitional energy, like, I don't know how to tell you, because it's a, you know, how can I say it? Say if it's you've been in a relationship with someone has cheated, but you decide to stay, this energy feel like when this person be shifting this in itself that something about to go wrong. Okay, now the energy is there. Not saying that the situation might not be realistic, but what I'm trying to say is the Tower is trying to sit here and say is you can't be tired if you determine to make this work. So if you stay looking into the future, then that's going to help you with your answer and how to react to the situation that's present. That's the only best way. And you know, the Tower is that kind of contradiction energy, is going to break something down. So you know, you have to look at your situations from a future standpoint, your future, your ego. And I imagine a lot of those things going to be part of your happy ever after. That's why the Ten of Cups is here. So, you know, that's the best way to combat the Mars with the Libra aspect of it. So now, over here, we got the Sun aspect with Libra for you Aquarius, and this is, here we go, in this forward progress when I'm talking about transition. So the Sun is bringing out the Judgment card and the Sun card. So what it means, that I feel that it means, is your temptation is in the Libra Sun energy. So basically, like if you're feeling something of temptation to leave you astray, to put you off course, or to make you feel like you taking a shortcut on something, okay, it's not, I can't say that it's not true, because this is judgment. So it's going to give you those kind of thoughts to come out with this, you know, and I guess it's to help you decipher when we talking about this Mercury retrograde, and being that it has the Wheel of Fortune and the Star card. I guess on the Sun side of it is more personal, more or less, where Mars is more community-fied, and where the Sun is more personal, is more yourself. This is your temptation island. What you say you won't gonna do no more. Why you so nosy? Why you so curious? Why is this so easy? Why is it feeling so persuasive to you? This is to notify you that you is in the Sun sign part of this aspect of the Libra energy. So the thing is, if it's, for example, it could be a great thing if it's all about you standing in your future. If you're going to utilize all of these energies at once, right? You standing into your future outcome. So whatever you is tempted with, if it's to how you grow in your business, grow spirituality, to attain more things, no matter what, because we got the Ten of Cups that's here, okay? The whole point is, long as you understand that your future is a temptation, you should be able to see a little bit more clearer That means that you're going to have to put on your sunglasses a little bit. It's not a sun gazing time with judgment going on at the same time. Okay? You need to put on your sunshades and say, okay, all this stuff lining up right here. Let me see how I feel in the future. Whether the future is a week, maybe you might have to do it from a week to 2 months to 6 months, based on the way that the situation is coming to you. But understand that this energy is temptation. It might, with Libra, it can only see the logical aspect of it. Where Aquarius, you're going to be looking for the foundation aspect of it. So the Judgment card is here with the Sun card. Which one is Libra going to play and which one are you going to play? Are you going to put yourself on the Judgment side of it and really be looking for the foundation of it? Are you going to be in the Sun side looking for the logic in it? Make sure you kind of understand it too when it comes to this Sun energy here. It's very interesting, but it's very personal for Aquarius. You know, that'll help you recognize a little bit more on which energy is strengthening with this Libra situation going on while we all up in it. The shadow dynamic here is, there you go, the Ace of Swords. There you go. What side are you going to be on it? Are you going to be looking for the foundation part of it in your Aquarian energy while you wear the Libra and utilizing Libra logic? But don't forget to put yourself first in it. Which way you going to do it? The Ace of Swords, very much talking about your temptation island in your energy. Okay? So I hope that help you out, Aquarius. Alright?